So I will go as far as to say when I grew up, I have ADHD. I mean, my mind is all over the place 99% of the time. So I may have tried it when I was about 18 years old, getting ready to go to when I was in college, and I had such a reaction to it that it scared me. I never ever indulged again. I had nothing against it; it just wasn't for me. But I can say this: what I do, have always done, is I follow systems because I have a weird mind. I'm a mathematician, statistician. Things have to be processed. They have to be step one, two, three, four, five. I have to be able to not just talk about it, but write it down and have some actionable. I have to be doing. I wake up doing in my sleep. I'm waking up 2, 3 in the morning, chat GPTing or putting plans together. That's just how my mind works. But that which was a flaw earlier on has become a superpower and a gift from God to me because being a CFO, I always did business plans, market plans, strategies, told people how to go get money, got money for people. And what people like to do is they go, hey, I'm going to go start a business. I need you to do my business plan. I need you to go get my money. And I need you to start it for me. Well, if I did all that, damn it, I can do it for myself. But what I do is I would do their business plan, do their financial plan, go run it for them a couple years, and get irritated because I should have done it for myself until God said, this is around, you're not going to be able to sidestep. I'm going to clip you in your knees and take you to the ground, and you're going to finally do it. And that happened 5 years ago. That's a little bit sidebar. But being that way, when I started my farm, my daughter, who lives in Atlanta, she's now 28. This was 5 years ago. She said, Mom, I don't know why you're going to go to the farm. And I don't know why you're going down there in the woods with all them rednecks, blah, 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 blah. But if you're going to go to the farm, you need to go and grow hemp. So, okay, so to appease, which I do all the time, just my only child, I always try to appease my young lady daughter. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put hemp on my farm and I'm gonna learn about it. Well, I went and applied for my hemp license right off the bat once I got my farm number, not knowing what I was doing. And now I've held my hemp license for 5 years. I now currently grow, and I have a company called Black Warrior Hemp Company, Black Warrior Cannabis Company. And I now produce products through my hemp company because that's legal in the state of Alabama, and I'm licensed. Well, I happened to be at something I was invited to. It's like a round table for business leaders. And in comes this man named George Poindexter. I didn't know him, had never met him. He came in late as usual. He comes and sits down right next to me. And we sit, and it was nothing about cannabis. It was just about farming and being leaders and how do we support our community. And and then when it was over, he kind of leans into me and we asked some questions and he goes, hey, I'm gonna get my cannabis license. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. All right. I said, well, he said, I want to show you something. I said, okay. And he wanted to show me his business plan. Well, he's an organic farmer, so he already has his USDA. He's certified organic, and another farmer that he worked with was certified organic. And I followed him to his farm, and we talked about his farming, and then he showed me his plan. And I just said to him, all fine and good, but I can't read this. I don't read with words. I read with numbers. And there are no numbers here. Well, I just want you to know this gentleman who's a brilliant mind, he's a brilliant, brilliant man. He had an amazing application and he was right. They were going through the grading process in Alabama and he didn't get awarded the first round with his license to grow medical marijuana. But the law says that they had one out of every four license had to go to a black business. So when they did the first round, they picked all five licensed, but nobody was black. So they threw it out. So when I came on, they thrown it out, and this is going to be the second round. He said, I'm going to get this license. I was like, okay, fine. I said, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know how you can get this license because you got an F for financials. You don't even have no financials worth talking about here. And I told him that. But the man got an A in facility, which is this 15,000 square foot facility. He hired someone to a company who goes around the country putting together these business plans. Paid them, $100,000, and they helped him write an amazing application. The only thing that was lacking was his financials. Well, he ran across me, and so I said, "Let me write your financials for free. You got the license, but you still got to run from financials." So that's how I got involved with him, by offering to write his financials. But it turned out I didn't have to do that for free because he brought me on and I run this as his chief compliance operating officer. I don't handle anybody else's money at this stage, only my own. So I wouldn't be his CFO, but I obviously audit everybody, including the CFO. They all report to me because I sit auditing everything, including the money. That's how I got into this space of cannabis. And we've had two more rounds where they've kind of pulled it back and given it. In each round, we were re-awarded the license. Just a caveat: this is 3 years in. The state is still not open, but it looks like from the law and where we are that in another couple weeks or up to maybe 6 weeks, we should be open for business. That's how I got into this space. So we have to grow indoors, so we had to build out a facility. We are just cultivators. In the state of Alabama, there are 9 cultivators. We're the only certified organic grower, which means we don't grow with any chemicals, any pesticides. We don't use feminized seeds, so we get some males in there. We are now starting our own genetics, so we have another area kind of off-site where we're actually doing our own seeded out of our mothers and working on some genetics there. And we're the second largest grower in the state of Alabama. And the most important thing is God blessed us that while people were talking about they had 15, 20, 25, $35 million to start these businesses, to get their license, we started with zero. We worked with friends and family who gave us our first $1 million to get off the ground. And since then, we've raised over $5 million from friends and family. And that means we all Black folks. So we have over 429 investors who are all us, who are owners of the profit that come out of this, $100 million a year operation right here in Alabama. And just by way, I think we started selling the shares at $10,000 a share. It's now going at $250,000 a share. And we literally, like I said, we brought in some folks by moving some of our stock out. But this is a multi-billion-dollar industry, nationwide, international. We don't grow for recreation. We just grow for the state of Alabama to sell to processors, who there are only 4 in the state of Alabama. They turn our flower, they extract the THC, then they turn it into 12 products that are sold in dispensaries, and none of it's smokable or vape. And then the patients who have prescription, they go in and they buy the products off the shelf. So we are not recreational. We're not even close to being what most people want to get into, because it is not something that is really consumable to the public at large. It is purely prescription medicine right now in the state of Alabama, but they see the dollar, so I think they're getting ready to open up to smokable, but only for the patients. This is probably one of the most conservative states in the United States of America, and the most very conservative, and a little bit, I would say, not progressive. And so I can only imagine what's happening in some of these other states where it is more progressive, there is more opportunity, there is some recreational. I just don't participate in it recreationally, just because I believe in it for health and healing. So I do make, we grow tea, we do teas and other products that are health related, primarily.
Okay, okay. Now, also, why I do want to ask you this because I've heard this from several different perspectives. Why do you utilize male seeds rather than feminized seeds?
So we use non-feminized seeds because we don't do anything GMO. Anything manipulated, we don't use, because it goes against, one, it goes against who we are spiritually. It goes against who we are as stewards of the land and everything that God put in it. So we go from the original genetics, and from that you have to have the males in order to produce seed. So what happens is, let's just say we have 1,000 plants. Well, in that 1,000, we might end up with 100 male plants, but because we inspect our plants daily and a couple times a day, anytime we see a male pop up, because they all, look the same until they get to a certain level of development, and then those male, I call them testicles, pop out on them, and then we have to immediately remove them from the room, so they don't, cross contaminate our females. So we have to remove those males out, and then we only grow out the females that we then clone to make our flower, that, to make our clones that we flower from. So the males will not help us in any way. Well, they help us, but they only help us in reproducing our genetics and to expand our inventory of products. that we offer through plants.